Hey, look, no one will even know. If we just we can just put a dress on you, and just every time I call you Rose, you have to kind of nod. Get it? To wear a dress. Will you wear a dress for me? Yeah? Wear a dress? So you're not going to... I'll sort it. So, as the majority of you will know, is that a creator, we're not going to mention any, we're not going to name and shame on here, but a creator had apparently done an interview with Rose Bly. That's Rosemary Bly, who disappeared some years ago and is, of course, the sister of Candace Bly. Now, I befell this, I'm not, this is what I don't want people to think, is look, that people don't make mistakes, because they do. I did it. I trusted a source that I had. They'd given me some information, albeit not the information that people tried to say that it was. It was completely different information, and I feel that it was a lot more, how can I say, easy to be fooled by than the initial information that people were trying to say it was. But anyway, I fell for it, and I said about Gary. Remember Gary? Back in the day, and we thought that Gary had not turned up in court, and there was potential that he was or was not a really naughty man. Now, I've come to the conclusion that in terms of Gary, he is a very naughty man. I believe that he is a groomer. I would go as far as to say that he was intentionally placed within that family to do with something else. There was an issue, there was something else being dealt with. It was nefarious in its nature, and a lot of people had the wool pulled over their eyes by a guy who was incredibly good at doing what he does. It is believed that Gary was potentially the person who had shaved the children's hair. He had wormed his way into a family, and again, some of the creepy stuff that this guy said. But anyway, I digress. Back to Rose. Is Rose alive? No, she's not. Well, I say she's not. We don't know. We don't know if Rose is alive. All we know is that she's missing. Is she missing? Yes, she's still missing. We don't know where she is. We don't know where she is at all. She could be anywhere. And she's certainly not on YouTube doing videos. That's a certain. That's a given. We know that that's not happening. I've got the dog trying to attack me. He's getting on my nerves today. He won't leave me alone. He's like a shadow. Like a backpack. But look, we as creators have to be more vigilant. We have to understand that there are people out there who just want to get onto the platform and become YouTube famous. We've seen it. The amount of people who are around this case who didn't really have anything to do with helping little Summer. In fact, not only did they not help this little girl, but they were breaking the law. They knew and claimed to know that they saw things happen to these little children around Ben Hill Road, including Summer, including other children whose their names won't be mentioned today. But every single person, every single one of you who knew these things were happening had the responsibility and actually called by law to tell somebody. Not just tell CPS, but tell the state. Tell law enforcement. That was a mandatory requirement that is chargeable in law. Okay? So all of you pigs who were around these children and watching are now creeping out the fucking woodwork to set up YouTube channels and to try and get your views and your clicks and your likes. You shouldn't be on YouTube. You should be locked up behind bars, having children come in on day trips and throwing friggin' bricks at you. That's what should be happening. But look, I digress again. We need to be more vigilant and learn who is who. Do your research. If you can't research it and you can't bring it to a conclusion, stay away from it. Leave it. Or get somebody else to do the research for you. But make sure before you bring anyone onto your channel saying that they are someone who's been missing for numerous years and they just want to come on YouTube to have a chat, just make sure they are who they are. Because people are going to get upset. Children are going to get upset. Family could potentially get upset. Not that I could see the likes of Candace getting upset. I really can't. She might wonder how she's on there, if indeed her own claims are correct. Remember, Candace said that she herself killed Rose Bly. We don't know if that's true. We know that Candace can sometimes not be 100% honest. But she did state to both Ali and in front of Gary. For those of you who don't friggin' know who Gary is, Jose, okay? I say Gary because we try to avoid conflict from people like Justin over at Justice for All, who thought he'd dox me online and still hasn't friggin' apologised. Unless it's gone into junk mail. No, it hasn't, because I've checked. Don't friggin' dox people online. But yeah, that's it. You know, this is what we're getting at. We don't know who people are. We don't know who we can trust. Everybody around this case seems to be full of it. They're either magic and they've got magic beans and magic hats and magic ways with people, or they don't really know what day of the week it is themselves. They don't know where they were and when they were and how they were and whatever. They don't know what happened on certain days and with who. They don't know where people are and where people could have been or anything. And if you're confused now, I've been confused since the very start of this case. I'm confused as to why simple questions cannot ever be answered. I'm surprised that law enforcement haven't at least reached out and touched upon the likes of like the money situation, people's donations, and making sure they went to who they were supposed to and not fraudulently stolen by the likes of Benny Keys, who's probably realised that he's not likely to get the reward. But if he keeps doing cash, bang, bang, gang and banging, he might eventually work his way up to that grand total. Who knows? Might be able to buy himself something nice. Maybe a hat, like his friend Ernie. Another magic cowboy hat. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with this little short message. And that is, if someone approaches you over the next couple of days and claims to be someone who has indeed been missing for some period of time and you have a YouTube channel, I would probably ignore that message. Just in case.